Hi friends, Mrs. Black. Today I wanted to talk to you about paper and color together. If you remember, we worked on these little snakes. I'd like to go back to that and introduce some color to the mix. So here's some plain white ones. I've worked on a couple others for you to see. And I went about adding my color a couple different ways. First I used water, and then I added some drops of food coloring. And there are a couple different ways that I added color to these little snakes. So the first one here, you can see I wet this entire thing and then I dipped it in the color. It's so faint though, you can just barely see the color that is left on here. The next one I did not wet beforehand, and I dipped this, I don't know if you can see that, I dipped this in some blue up here and some green down here. And in the next one, I increased the amount of food coloring in my bowl so that the color is more saturated. And I dipped it in blue on top here, and then I dipped it in brown down here. And the colors that I've been using for these, I used blues and greens and browns because I've been thinking about water a lot. It's been raining a lot at my house. And so I've been thinking about the water in the brook near my house. That's kind of a brownish green color, and the color of the ocean down by the shoreline, that's more of a bluish color. So that's kind of where I got this color palette from. But you can use whatever colors you like to play around with color on your paper. Another thing that I would like to talk about is the snowflakes that we cut out the other day. Using that same technique, I dipped one end in blue and one end in green. So let's open this up and see what happens. So you can see this blue has blended into the green. That was a happy accident. Besides food coloring and water coloring, you can also use crayon or marker, colored pencil, whatever you have around your house. When you are working with snowflakes, however, it's probably easier to color your paper first, if you're working with crayons, for example, and then cut out your designs. So this one, I colored my sheet of paper first, and then I cut out my snowflake. So you can see what happens there. And one other way you can color your paper is with watercolor or food coloring. But if you use a white crayon to draw a design first, I just want to show this to you here. So here you have white crayon, and you can see that when I use watercolor over that, this wax here acts as a resist. And by resist, I mean the paint does not adhere to that part of the paper. So you can draw little shapes, you can draw letters, you can put whatever you like. And so this is something that I made. I made a rainbow, and then I used watercolor to add color around those parts that I colored with that white crayon. So I hope that gives you some inspiration to play around with color in any form and with any kind of cut paper, or even just plain flat paper. Have fun. Thanks.